You know, unbelievably, right in the middle of one of the richest cities in the country, San Francisco, there are families, children in need, people who need your help. Well, every year there's an organization, the Tenderloin Neighborhood Development Corporation, TNDC, has a wonderful fundraiser to raise funds and awareness, the Celebrity Pool Toss. And yours truly this year is getting thrown in for a good cause. More importantly, the MC for the event, our guest, Donna Sachet.
You're getting tossed in this year?
I'm getting tossed in.
Well, I'll be there for sure. I love this event. You know, I don't come on your program very often, but when I come, I bring you an event that I really believe in. And this, as you just said, it's done in the neighborhood. It's at the Phoenix Hotel, and it's for the neighborhood. They're building housing, affordable housing, taking care of people that are down to their last hope, and they're giving them hope. I love it.
Well, and you know, I really meant what I said. I think people think of San Francisco as a rich city, and so sometimes we can literally walk past people in our own neighborhood. I mean, the Tenderloin is right next to where my office is,
right.
And people don't realize there are people really struggling right here in our own backyard.
Yeah, and it is hard. People may not agree with this, but I mean, when I see people in the street, I don't give money because I just think it's so transitory. I'd rather support an organization that's doing substantive work behind, like the AIDS Emergency Fund, like the Tenderloin Neighborhood Organization.
Well, and of course, the Celebrity Pool Toss is raising money. I have to say, I have to shout out here, Tom on our crew has given me the first $5. So it's going to cost $15,000.
Hold that up to the light.
No, it's real. I know, right? So if our viewers would like to see me tossed into the pool.
Oh, they can do it online this time?
Oh, yeah, it's going to cost $15,000, but I got my first $5.
Okay, well, I'll add to that before I leave.
So, well, what am I in for? What is
well,
this
I
event
love
like?
it. It's such a celebratory kind of event. Everybody's out around the pool. If people are not familiar with it, it's almost like a motel with this little yard around the pool. There's wonderful hors d'oeuvres. There's food that's from restaurants around. There are drinks, and then everybody again builds up to the moment. Buddy Love and his band are there playing music, and then the first MC comes out and brings out a celebrity, and then everybody starts bidding. It goes crazy. I've heard bids as high as $30,000.
Wow.
And then when they finally get the bid, the high bidder comes up and pushes that person literally into the pool, and it's a real pool.
Yeah, well, you know, I told my husband, I said, I guess now I've gotten to a certain level of PR. I get to be thrown into the pool.
Well, that's where celebrity and notoriety, I don't know, kind of
Celebritron, I don't know. So now, have you ever been thrown in?
Well, it was funny when I first started doing it many years ago. I think I've been at 8, maybe 10 years now. They told me, now you'll MC for 2 years, and the third year you get tossed in. So the third year I went out of town. But no, they never got me in. I don't know. I talked to Mark Leno about it one time because he always comes, and he has been thrown in. And he said, if you ever want to do it, I'll do it with you. So I think pairs are kind of fun. You have somebody to go in with. So I remember Bevan Dufty and Fiona Ma did it together. And Fiona wore a football outfit, and Bevan wore a cheerleader outfit. So yeah, you can have a lot of fun with it.
Of course he did.
What are you going to wear?
Well, you know, I haven't decided. I mean, the red dress is clearly taken, so I can't do that.
Well, that reminds me of Charlotte Schultz. You heard that story when she was thrown in. She's our chief of protocol for the city and for the state, actually, and she is known for her clothes and everything. So she actually went in a designer gown, and as she emerged from the water, here was her hairdresser and her facial expert and her dresser, and it was a lot of fun.
No, I mean, I guess I could go in a suit or something for a client, or I guess I could go in with a 10% set. I don't know.
Yeah, what are you known for? Like sports you're known for?
No, definitely not.
Music or
music? I mean,
arts,
I played piano. I could go in with a small piano. I don't think anyone's ever gone in with a piano.
No, you want to break a record. You want to do something unusual, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, even Willie Brown, because most mayors have done it when they've been mayor, and Willie just pushed it off, as I think I did, going out of town. And finally he said he would do it, and instead of throwing himself in, he took one of his most expensive hats, tossed it
one of the
pool.
Barcelinos.
Yes.
You know, I mean, this event has become a real part of San Francisco's social scene. I remember when Chip Connolly, who for so many years was, associated with Joie de Vivre hotels, he created this, and it seemed like a quirky, fun, but small idea. And now it's raised hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Isn't that San Francisco for you? I always say there's something in the air or the water here. We keep drinking it and breathing it. The things bubble up here. I bet they didn't make a lot of money the first couple of years, but they captured the imagination of the public. It was artsy but creative, and cut through social circles. I mean, that's great.
Well, I think you raise a good point. Look at the annual Academy of Friends benefit. That started in Kyle Osier's living room with a bunch of guys watching the Oscars and having popcorn, and now it's the second biggest AIDS fundraiser
anywhere. Project Open Hand, a woman who wanted to feed people that were hungry. She fed a few people, and then that grew into this huge thing. They're millions of dollars now, and give food to people that need it. So that's San Francisco for you. We take care of our own.
I want to come back to the Celebrity Pool Toss, but you raised an issue that I'd like to talk about, and I think a lot of people are up for talking about, and that is how different, specifically the AIDS epidemic in San Francisco is treated. You know, when I came here almost 30 years ago, boy, it seemed like there was a fundraiser, and an important fundraiser every day. Do you think there's a whole new generation of people that aren't taking that as seriously?
Well, specifically for AIDS, I think so. I think there are a lot of people that consider it a manageable disease of anything, or maybe not even a disease for their demographic. They're too young, or they're not active, or they're safe, or whatever. You know, people are pushed aside. But also, we've got to get the new generation into the habit of fundraising and habit of philanthropy, and a lot of them just don't have that mindset yet.
Well, and I think something like the pool toss is a good example
fun,
of that.
right?
How do you teach philanthropy? I mean, you have given hundreds of hours to emceeing and raising money with the Imperial Court. How do you teach people to do the right thing?
Well, I think if you have events that they enjoy coming to, they will come to them again, or they'll see your name and say, last time I was there, that was fun. Not just fun, but take the D off, it was fun. And somebody recently said it's also friend raising. If you go to those things, you run into people, you know, it's like, oh, you come to this every year? Oh, I want to come next year. Maybe I'll get tossed in. You become a part of it. The enthusiasm is contagious.
Right. Now, you've mentioned Charlotte, you've mentioned Willie Brown. Any other memorable tossees over the years?
Oh, there have been so many. Like last year, Louis Sykes, who I think people will know as a party organizer, and he's connected to lots of people, just very creative person, and he went in his tuxedo and hat, and he had a big black inner tube that had been bejeweled, so he went in with that. So there's all kinds of fun ways to do it, I think. And sometimes the businessmen are the most surprising, because it's a very, a CEO of a company or somebody that they all kind of put up for this honor or this in whatever shame it is, but they got him to go in. Most CEOs will go in their regular suits or regular three-piece, and their hair's messed up for the first time their employees see them. So it's fun for everybody. You lower the barriers.
Yeah. What is it? You said is it something in the air? Is it something in the water? These sort of events seem to cross all social lines. I mean, you've got people like Louis Sykes, and then you've got Charlotte Schultz. I don't know if Senator Feinstein's ever been thrown in, but
she's not. But
yeah, that would be a good one.
I don't know. That would be messy hair. We'll see.
But what is it about this event specifically that you think brings people together? Because seriously, talking about the Tenderloin, it literally is in the center of our city. On one side, you've got Nob Hill, the most expensive hotels in the city, if not some in the country. You've got the Union Square retail area,
and sandwiched right between there.
Is this pocket of real need?
Right. Well, I think that in San Francisco, at least, success breeds success. If you have an event that works for the first 3 years or 5 years, starts raising the money that this thing raises. I mean, how much money did they raise last year? It's incredible. And then it gets the names involved that they get involved. I go back because I see friends I don't see all year. I usually have the same person come with me, and he sees people he doesn't know. And they take it with a hotel. There are people who are dressing in the rooms. There's video monitors while you're watching. There's a bar for the people that are being thrown in. And afterwards, you get pictures. It's just, you've got to go back because you enjoyed it the first time.
Right. So I shouldn't be nervous about this, is what you're saying.
Well, now that I know you're doing it, you should be nervous. No, I can't control anything that happens to you. But you will have fun.
You've got the microphone,
Well, the microphone, I don't have the pool. And I should mention, too, when you get into the pool, you may think, oh, what am I going to do, flounder around? We have people from Fitness SF there who will take care of you, make sure you're not going to drown or have any problems, so you come out in a big white bathrobe.
So I've even got cute lifeguards?
Yeah, they're not bad on the eye, let me tell you.
Oh. Well, I'm married, but I'm not
it doesn't
blind.
keep you from looking.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you'll have a great time, and I love that you're doing it. It adds your world to it, and your friends will be there, and your viewers will be giving money to make sure your bids get up there. 15,000, huh?
15,000 is my minimum bid, and it's one of those times when you feel like those of us who are lucky enough to work in the community, you, me, every now and then you get a chance to talk about something important that is bigger than what you're doing. So I'm really excited to promote.
And I don't want to scare people with that number either, because a lot of people pool their money. It might be a whole office pool that says, oh, we want to be a part of this. So they pool their money, and they've got 5,000 or 500, and they join into the bidding. So it's fun.
Yeah, well, I'm sure some of my friends are going to see this and be scared, because my husband and I just raised $12,000 for the AIDS life cycle down to L.A. So,
well, David, does it ever stop? I mean,
no,
the needs
this
are always there, and that's what when I take my Mondays off, which I've told you about, my do nothing Mondays. People are like, you didn't even answer the phone. No, I didn't. I just you got up one day, and because it's always there. There's always a need. The next project. So
we'll talk a little bit about that. How do you balance it? Is it your do nothing Mondays?
I think it's that. Yeah, you just take a little respite, and if I miss one, you'll notice I'll be grouchy that week, because you need a little downtime to yourself. Even if it's just staying, not getting dressed that day, and taking care of paperwork, thank you notes, and all that, which I'm really big about. But the needs are there, and I love the fact that this is addressing a very specific need for a specific community and a demographic, and I just hope that they continue to do the work they're doing.
All right. Well, we're going to end talking about the pool toss, but I want to talk about something else that you just mentioned to me at the beginning of this interview. Next year is the 50th anniversary of an organization that's near and dear to your heart and has raised a lot of money specifically for people living with AIDS, HIV.
Right.
Talk to me about that.
Well, the Imperial Court of San Francisco was founded 50 years ago next year by Jose Sarri, who just passed away last year. And he was the first openly gay person that ran for public office. He's one of the founders of SIR. He did so many groundbreaking pieces of work. And he founded the court, and he became the first empress. And then years later, we associated ourselves with Emperor Joshua Norton. So there were emperors and empresses. And now we're going to celebrate that in City Hall's Rotunda 50 years later. And it'll be the weekend of Valentine's Day, so February 15th.
Wow.
I'm so excited about it because we are already getting this buzz that we think we're going to have 700 people there or something. I don't know where they're going to all go, but it's going to be quite a celebration. We're the oldest continuously operating LGBT organization in the country.
Wow.
So 50 years. I mean, who could say that? You see here about a 20-year and maybe a 30-year celebration.
Yeah, or if a restaurant lasts 2 years, you think it's a big success.
Right.
So now I just want to make sure that I've got it correct. 50 years, that means there have been 49 empresses.
Right.
And you were empress number?
30. Don't age me.
No, no.
Actually, I'm 30. I'm 30 because I waited for that number. I wanted the triple X. I said, you want 29? I said, no. But no, I love it. And even though I'm kind of like in the middle, I guess, if you look at those numbers that way, I love what the past has done for us. I mean, at one time it was about feeding people. Then AIDS came along. It was all about taking care of people with AIDS. And then the cause has grown. Now, sometimes younger people don't have either of those causes in mind. It's like, where's the party? So,
well, how does that make you feel? I mean, that's something that, I mean, we talked a little bit about it, how AIDS has changed as far as its perception in the community. Now that the Imperial Court has grown and changed, how does that make you feel?
Oh, I'm very proud of it. I mean, if it started in San Francisco with this one person, this one idea, and it maybe not just one person thought of it, many people contributed to it. But right now we have 67 courts in Canada, United States, and Mexico, spread across the country. So in Cincinnati, there's a court. And in Washington, D.C., now there's a new court. So when you travel, you've got that little foundation. And it's all tied to that one individual. What a wonderful person Jose Sarri was. I just feel indebted to her, and I want to carry it further because of that.
Well, and I think, they say many things are only in San Francisco, but you were there the day of Jose's funeral at Grace Cathedral. How incredible to see the LGBT community represented there in this palace of quote-unquote society.
We often talk about how religion or churches aren't good to us, but boy, the Episcopal Church was so good to us there. I mean, they made the best deals they could. They got the right things to happen. There was a high mass ceremony for them, really. The incense and the decoration. I mean, I called it epic. That was the only word that could really describe it.
No, it was.
Epic.
And they were moved, I got to tell you, some of the people at the cathedral. Well, in our last few moments, any advice...
We have so much to talk about.
I know we do. We never run out of stuff to talk about. In our last few moments, any advice for people who are coming to the pool toss, what they should expect, and any final advice for me? Because now I'm getting a little scared.
Two things. Well, the people coming, I mean, you have no idea. We're describing it and everything, but you get there and you're going to be your jaw open. Like, they did what? And you hear a bid for $30,000. It's all, a lot of people pool their money. As I said, they want to make sure it happens. But you'll just be amazed at the activity and the costuming and the fun music and all of that sort of thing. And advice for you, call me tomorrow.
I'm going to call Donna, okay? And so I've only got $14,995 to go. Operators are standing by now.
Right.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Always a treat having Donna on. Next, more about the pool toss with Neil Figarelli. We'll be right back. Thanks.